What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports, always at fanstreamsports.com and on the FanStream Sports mobile app, free for Android and iOS. I don't know who still uses Androids these days. Look, if you use an Android, I don't know that we can be friends. But I will talk to you about the Dallas Cowboys. Most certainly I will talk to you about the Dallas Cowboys. Boys and girls, it was the Dallas Cowboys schedule release for 2025 along with the rest of the NFL on Wednesday. Today is Thursday. I've had some time to digest it, look over some things. We're going to talk a little bit about the schedule, and I will give you my way too early game-by-game predictions. Look, we're going to do this for real closer to the start of the season. After the final 53 are known, we will do one for real, but it's always fun, right? Right after the schedule comes out. We did it again. We did it also like when we just heard who the opponents were going to be when they announced that, which means absolutely nothing. And I don't even have what I had for back then. I don't know, maybe 10 wins. And I have not done this. I have not preconceived these wins, loss. We're going to go down the schedule together, and I will do it right here on the fly. And you guys are always welcome to chime in, 214-937-0569. 214-937-0569 is the FanStream Sports Studio text line. Make sure you tell me who you are and where you're texting from. And that is available 24/7, whether you're watching one of our live streams here on FanStream Sports or listening to one of the recorded podcasts, one of the number of recorded podcasts we have available for you at fanstreamsports.com. You can use that 24/7. We will see it. And if it's a good one, we'll reply to you and make you part of the next show. So, yes, available for this, or you can comment. If you're watching the video, you can comment under the video on YouTube or wherever you're seeing it here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz on FanStream Sports. So the schedule came out on Wednesday, along with the rest of the league. Look, for the Cowboys, with a new head coach, I think a fast start is going to be key this year, especially with a new head coach, right? You open with consecutive division games against the Eagles and the Giants, and I am not a fan of division games in the month of September. Especially the way you're reducing preseason workouts, you're reducing preseason games. I don't like that you're playing division opponents, which matter more, apparently, is what I'm told, that early in the season. I would like to see those bumped back, to at least October. But it is what it is. All teams have to deal with it. Everybody's on a level playing field here. But you open with consecutive division games against the Eagles and the Giants. That will already give you an idea of where the Cowboys are in the story of the 2025 NFC East. Dak Prescott's coming back from a hamstring injury, and it was a bad one. He is 9-4 all time against the Eagles, and he has a 13-game personal winning streak against the Giants. So that'll help Brian Schottenheimer a little bit for sure. The bye week comes at a good time for the Cowboys, I think, in week 10, because they close with 6 of 8 games against teams that made the playoffs in 2024. The strength of schedule for the Cowboys is not going to do them any favors. They have the 5th hardest schedule in the league, with their opponents having a .557 winning percentage in 2024. That is not going to help Brian Schottenheimer or anybody here for the Cowboys. They play 4 Thursday games. They open the season against the Eagles, of course, as we mentioned, on Thursday. On Thanksgiving, they welcome Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to town. A week later, on Thursday, they have a Thursday night game at the Detroit Lions. And then the final game comes on Christmas Day at Washington. For first-year head coach Schottenheimer, I think he's going to be tested on how he keeps his team fresh, especially late in the season when 3 of the Thursday night games come in a 5-week span. This is going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal for a team coming off a horrible season with injuries and performance issues, because we all know about performance issues. But let's go through the list here for you guys, because we'll start, and then I'll keep up. Again, I've not done this premeditated. I'm doing this on the fly for you. Look, I'm just marking down the Thursday night home opener or the road opener, Thursday night season opener in week 1 against the Eagles. I'm sorry. I hate the Eagles as much as the next guy, but I cannot see the Cowboys winning this game. If they do, great. Obviously, we're all cheering for a win, but I've got an L. Week 2, September 14th against the Giants. How about a W? How about a W? It's the Giants. All right. Russell Wilson. Pfft, who cares about the Giants? Week 3 at the Chicago Bears. Those Bears ain't got nothing for the Cowboys. That's going to be a big fat W for Dallas, I believe. I'm not a believer in Caleb Williams or the Chicago Bears. And we will see if they have anything under their new head coach. September 28th versus the Green Bay Packers. That is an NBC game. So let's go with the Packers. Look, I'm sorry. Jordan Love's kind of got the Cowboys number since that playoff game. I'm going to go L against the Packers. Go Pack, go. And then October 5th at the New York Jets and the Fighting Justin Fields. I'm sorry, that's a W. I covered the Steelers last season. I saw a lot of Fields and I saw a lot of Russell Wilson. I ain't impressed with none of it. Week 6 at the Carolina Panthers, the Fighting Bryce Youngs, and the Dave Canales' head coach. I like Dave Canales as the head coach quite a bit. Big fan of him in Tampa as the one-year wonderkind offensive coordinator. But I've got the Cowboys beating the Panthers in week 6. They head home then in week 7, October 19th, against the Commanders of the Washingtons. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I have that marked down as an L. And again, these are all just instincts. I'm not really overthinking these. I'm thinking more of who the quarterbacks are against the team. Very short-sighted and a shallow way to do this, but it's not going to matter because it's way too early. It's what I said in the title. It's way too early, but we're doing it anyway. And again, I would love to hear all of yours. You can find me on social media and share with me at IndyCarTim on pretty much everything. Threads, X, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram. Find me there. Or again, of course, 214-937-0569, the studio text line. Week 8, boys and girls, at the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix showed me something last season. I was not expecting any of that out of the former Auburn Tiger. I don't really recognize anything he did after that. But Sean Payton's doing something up there. But you know what? Sean Payton against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win that up in the Mile High City. Go Cowboys. Week 9, November 3rd, at home, Monday Night Football, Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray does not lose at AT&T Stadium. I don't care what college, high school, professional team he is in. He does not lose. And for that reason and that reason only, I've got a loss for the Cowboys against the Cardinals. And that one's going to hurt because that's entering your bye week in week 10. And we get to think about that one for a long time. We get to think about that for a long time. So I've got the Cowboys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4 entering the bye week in week 10. Which would you take that? Would you take 5 and 4 in week 10 during your bye week? Brian Schottenheimer's first year on the job. Dak Prescott coming off the hamstring, and you're over 500 through 2 months of the season. I think I would take that. I would take that. Again, I'd like to see what the Eagles are doing with their schedule and obviously Washington and the Giants. But as a Cowboys fan, I'd be happy at 5 and 4. Heading into week 11, boys and girls, November 17th at the Las Vegas Raiders of Las Vegas. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, Tom Brady. It's Monday Night Football at Allegiant Stadium. It's Cowboys on Monday Night Football against the Raiders. That's all you need to know. That's a W. All right. It's going to be a W. I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Raiders. And then week 12, here's a big one. You are playing the Eagles at home, your second game against the Eagles. And I think the Cowboys have a really good chance of splitting with the Eagles this year, which means since you lost in week 1, means you win in week 12. Heading into Thanksgiving against the Chiefs. Man, look, I think the Chiefs are going to be down next year. I think they were down last year. They just got uber lucky in a lot of close one-score games. And, is it better to be lucky or good? I don't know. Probably lucky. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to look. I'll tell you right now, I'm not predicting them to win the AFC West next year. I won't tell you who because you got to listen to later, closer to the season. I don't think Mahomes has a great year. He didn't have a great year last year. We're going to have the whole Dallas Texans versus Dallas Cowboys thing on Thanksgiving. You know what? W for the Cowboys against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Now, week 14, Thursday night, Prime Video, Amazon Prime at Ford Field and the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry, I think that's a loss. Your former tight end with the long, stringy hair, Dan Campbell, is going to better you on a Thursday game on December 4th. I've got that a loss against the Lions. Week 15, Minnesota Vikings. I have no freaking idea. It's an NBC game. I don't know if I don't have the dates or the days in front of me on these. I don't know if that's a Sunday or a Thursday. I'm guessing it's probably a Sunday since he played 2 consecutive Thursdays, so it's probably a Sunday. December 14th, the Vikings. I don't know what to think of J.J. McCarthy. I don't know what to think of Kevin O'Connell without Sam Darnold. Man, I really don't know what to think. You know what? Let's throw that as a big W for the Cowboys. That's a very weird wild card game for me. The Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, Los Angeles. Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh. Again, another wild card. I think they're going to have a much improved run game this year. They always get better under Harbaugh. Let's just throw that out as one of those games the Cowboys should win, but don't. And they're at home against the Chargers. So I've got an L for you there. And you've got a weird Christmas Day game against the Washington Commander Redskins of Washington on Netflix on Christmas Day. I think the Cowboys will probably split with Washington. And since you beat Washington in Week 7 on October 19th, I think you'll probably lose on Christmas Day. So we'll throw that in as a loss. And then finally, the New York Gigantics on January, either the 3rd or the 4th. We don't know. This is when they've switched to playing some Saturday and Sunday games. So we don't have a date for this one yet, but we know it's Week 18, and we know it's the Giants. And look, they're going to sweep the Giants because the Giants got nothing in maybe Brian Daboll's last year as the head coach. Unfortunately, because I like Brian. I think he's a good coach. I just think he's in a winless situation. There's no way for him to win in New York. So that means I had them going 5-4 into the bye, and that means I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 5, and 3 after the bye. So that means, look, Cowboys go 10-7. Again, none of that was researched or premeditated because it's way too early to do that. But would you take 10-7? Would you take a 5-4 first half and a 5-3 finish in what is Brian Schottenheimer's first year? Yes, you would take that, right? I think the Cowboys' projected win totals on all of these things are right around 7.5 wins. I think I saw one that was 8.5. But for the most part, again, with the 5th hardest schedule in the league, coming off a disappointing season when your quarterback suffered a just bad injury. We're just hoping he can come back and play normal after that, right? I forgot what they called it, but it's like where the muscle tore away from the bone, his hamstring muscle, not just a hamstring tear. I forgot what the medical term for that is, but it's not pretty. So there you go. Yeah, 10-7 for your Dallas Cowboys in 2025. Again, I would love to know what y'all's predictions are. 214-937-0569. Let me hear from you, or on social media at IndyCar Tim. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Under my name as we go right here. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, this is probably really weird for you. But we will do it all again here, get more into the schedule, into more to the Cowboys offseason right here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz on FanStream Sports and the Mike Fisher YouTube channel. I am IndyCar Tim, and until next time, boys and girls, we'll see ya.